Okay, May, June 2021, paper 1, variant 2. Question 1. Which piece of apparatus is most suitable for measuring the mass of a pencil sharpener? The mass. Definitely, uh, we need a digital balance. Okay. Um, a cyclist records his speed and the distance traveled during a journey. He then plots the data against the time for different sections of his journey. Which graph shows the section when he is moving with a constant speed? Which graph shows a constant speed? Any thoughts? A, B, C, or D? Okay. Can A be the answer? Hmm, I don't think so. Yes, A is wrong. Why? Because he is at rest. At rest. What about B? What's happening to his speed? No, his speed is increasing speed, so this is wrong. C, the distance is increasing with a constant rate, so this is constant speed. Yes, constant speed. So it is C, correct. D, his speed is decreasing speed. Yeah. Question 3. Yeah. Two stones have different weights. Okay, they fall at the same time from a table. They fall at the same time. Air resistance may be ignored. What will happen and why? If we throw two stones from above a table, what will happen to these stones? Any ideas? Ah, hmm. Someone said A, both stones will hit the floor at the same time. Why? Because acceleration of free fall is constant. And this is true. Yes. If you have two stones with different weights, it doesn't matter if they are the same weight or if they have different weights. They will definitely hit the floor at the same time. Why? Because air resistance is ignored. Whenever you remove air resistance, both of them will hit the ground at the same time. What is the acceleration of free fall? We know that the acceleration of free fall is 9.8 meters per second squared. So this is the same. It applies for any object on Earth, any object with a mass on Earth. This would be the same acceleration or G, gravitational acceleration. Um, okay, diagram 1, a plastic bottle, we have a hollow glass, and then diagram 2, the broken glass, and then diagram 3, tiny pieces of this broken glass. He keeps on shaking the bottle. Okay, with each time the glass sphere keeps on breaking even more. The mass of bottle 1 is M1, M2, and M3. Can we compare the masses? Can we compare the masses of diagram 1, diagram 2, and diagram 3? Would they be different or would they be the same? Or would, for example, diagram 1 be greater than diagram 2? Yes, someone said A. Yes, it is A, definitely. Why is it A? Because you didn't add any masses. Yes, they are the same. You did not add any glass. You did not add any air, for example, or water. Or you added nothing. So it's the same mass. It's just a matter of you broke the glass and that's it. Okay, good. Hmm. An astronaut wants to know how much she would weigh on different moons. She measures her mass on Earth to be 82 kilograms. She researches the values of G on different moons. The results are shown. Which weight is calculated correctly? Which weight is calculated? These are the different weights, okay, on the different moons. Her mass is 82 kilograms. How can I calculate the weight? We know weight equals, we know the equation. We only have one equation for the weight. Weight equals what? mg. So for each g, we'll just calculate weight equals mg. 82 times 1.2. 82 times 1.2. I don't think it would be 68. It needs to be greater than 82. 82 times 0.28. 82 times 0.28. I guess this seems to be correct. If you calculate 82 times 2.3, no, this would be wrong. Okay. Sorry, 0.23. I'm sorry, 0.23. Okay. This would be wrong. And then again, 82 times 0.23, this would also be wrong. So it is B. Yes, it is B. Any questions? Any problems? Okay, we have a measuring cylinder containing 40 centimeters cubed of water. A stone of mass 94 grams is lowered, as shown. What is the density of the stone? How can I find the density of this stone? We know that density equals mass over volume. The mass of the stone is 94 grams. What about the volume? How can I find the volume? Would it be 40 centimeters cubed? Hmm. Or will it be hmm, someone saying B? I need some steps. I need to actually calculate it. Okay, 94 over what's the volume? The volume of the water now is 76. صح? Yes, correct. The volume of the water now is what is 76. So to find the volume of the stone, you need to subtract 76 minus 40. Okay, and then when you calculate it, it would be yes 36. So 94 divided by 36 is how much? 94 divided by 36 is I guess 2 point hmm, um yes 2.6. Okay, 2.6. Okay, so in this question, it would be wrong if you divide 94 divided by 76. That is incorrect. Moving on, I have a toy car traveling down a sloping ramp. What statement about the forces acting on the car is correct? It's moving at a constant speed at this instant. It is moving at a constant speed. When a car or when any object moves at a constant speed, what happens? Okay, how can we describe the forces acting on the object? There is no resultant force. Yes, that is correct. There is no resultant force acting on the car. There are no forces acting on the car vertically. There are no gravitational forces. There are no friction forces. They're all wrong. So it is B. Yes, thank you. The extension load graph for a spring is shown. The unstretched length of the spring is 17 centimeters. This is the unstretched length, the original length, the unextended length. It is 17 centimeters. When an object is suspended from the spring, the length of the spring is 19.2 centimeters. What is the weight of the object? How can I find the weight of the object? Hmm. How can I find the weight of the object? This would be quite easy. We have an extension load graph. Now, the length of the spring is 19.2 centimeters. How can I find the extension of this spring? What should I do? Okay, so someone's saying you should subtract 19.2 minus 17. Yes, this is correct. First of all, 19.2 minus 17 is what is 2.2 centimeters. This is the extension. This is the extension. From the extension, okay, you will draw a horizontal line from 2.2. Draw a horizontal line very carefully until you reach the graph or until you reach the line, and then a vertical line, which would be 3 newtons. Okay, again, you need to find the extension first, and then using the extension, you can find the load. Okay, good. An object is falling through a vacuum. Which energy transfer is taking place? Which of these energy transfer? It's falling through a vacuum. While falling down, initially it had a yes, initially it had gravitational potential energy. While falling down, this gravitational potential energy is being transferred to kinetic energy. This question is about 4 methods to produce electrical energy. Which method has a correct description? A hydroelectric power station, is it renewable? Yes. Does it emit carbon dioxide? No. Okay, I think this is correct. Coal-fired power station, not renewable. Doesn't produce? No, this is wrong. A wind turbine, not renewable. No, it is renewable. Nuclear power station, yes, it is renewable. No, it's not renewable. So I think it is also, it is renewable and it doesn't produce carbon dioxide. Hmm. Okay, this is an interesting question. Two men, X and Y, try to move identical boxes P and Q. Which man does the most work done on the box, and which box gains the most energy? Which man does the most work on the box? Man X is just pushing the box, and there's an object in front of the box. The question is box P moving or not? Okay. Is box P moving? No, it's not moving. There's no motion. Okay, it's not moving. To calculate the work done, we know that work done is what? Is force times distance moved. D is the distance moved by the object. So in this case, is the object, well, there is a force on the object. Yes, I know there is a force on the object. But the question is the object moving? Is box P moving? No, it's not moving. So if the box is not moving, so it's not gaining any work done. No work is being done on the object. Okay. So basically, man X, I'm sorry, man X is not doing any work. He's just applying some force, but he is not doing any work. Okay. There's a huge difference between applying a force and actually doing some work done. Okay, you can apply force on a wall, for example. You can keep on pushing the wall for an hour, but the wall will not move. So you will not be you will not be doing any work done on the wall. This is the same case for man X. So neither man X nor box P will apply any work done. It's only man Y, and box Q because it's being lifted upwards. Yes, it is the Okay, a book has a mass of 400 grams. The surface of the book in contact with the table has dimensions of zero point 0.1 and zero point 0.2. The gravitational field is 10. What is the pressure exerted on the table due to the book? How can I calculate the pressure? Pressure equals force over area. How can I find the force? Can someone help me out? How can I find the force in this case? Hmm, Force equals, oh, if you want to use, okay. Hmm. Definitely, yes, definitely we cannot use the 400 grams. The force in this case would be the weight. The force would be the weight. How to find the weight? Okay, weight equals mg, mass times the gravitational acceleration. But the mass, we cannot use 400 grams. You cannot use the mass in grams. You have to use the mass in kilograms. To convert to kilograms, you need to divide by 1,000, and this will give you 0.4 kilograms. Finding the weight, 0.4 kilograms times the g. In this case, it's 10. It wouldn't differ that much if it was 9.8. So 0.4 times 10 would be 4. This is the force, 4 newtons. Okay, 4 divided by the area. The area is 0.1 times 0.2 or 0.10 times 0.20. Doesn't matter that much. I guess this would be around 200. 200 newtons per meter squared. Okay. Please, you have to make sure that the mass is in kilograms while calculating the weight. This is a very, very common question. Okay. Um, okay, you have a question? Hmm.
مستر واحنا ليه يا مستر عملنا لها تايمز 10 المفروض نعملها تايمز 9.8.
8.8, yes, I know, I know. The gravitational field strength is 10. He wrote it down as 10. خلاص, I will use it as 10. Okay. In our exam, you should use 9.8. Okay, this is an old test in the old syllabus. The new syllabus, the G is 9.8. Okay. Each container contains the same liquid. Okay. Which statement about the pressure of the liquid at the bottom of the container is correct? Which statement about the pressure? They all have the same density. Okay. Someone is saying D. The pressure of the liquid at the bases are the same. And yes, this is correct. Why is it correct? Okay, why is it correct? We know for a fact that the pressure of a liquid depends on two things. It depends on the density of the liquid and the depth. Okay, and the depth. Each container contains the same liquid, meaning that they have the same density. and all of them have the same liquid. The depth is the same. So would the pressure differ? No, the pressure would not differ due to the water. Okay, so at this point, you have the same pressure. At this point, they all have the same pressure. Okay, it's a really nice question. Hmm. A person taking a shower notices that water appears on the inside of the bathroom window, even though the window is some distance from the shower. Which statement explains this observation? Hmm. Why does he have some water droplets on the window? Hmm. Definitely, it is due to condensation. Yes, it's definitely due to condensation. Water vapor from the atmosphere condenses onto the colder window. Correct. Okay, good. Hmm. This is the Brownian motion. Brownian motion. What are the moving specks of light? What are the moving specks of light? Okay, very carefully, you need to read all of the answers. What are the moving specks of light? Okay, we know Brownian motion. Usually, when we talk about Brownian motion, someone's asking previous question, why is it not A? Okay, droplets of water from the hot shower move through the air and onto the window. Why is it not A? Because he said that it is at a distance. Okay, it's at some distance, it's a far distance. Okay, you're not directing the water shower, the stream of water, for example, to the window. No, it has to do with condensation. Okay, the same applies, for example, as the mirror. Why do you find water on the mirror? It's due to condensation. Um, Again, this is Brownian motion. Why do we see these? Yes, why do we see these moving specks of light? Yes, you're all saying B, which is correct. Yes, pollen grains are being hit by water molecules. The same applies for the smoke particles. For example, you'll say the smoke particles are being hit by the air molecules. Yes. A hole is drilled in a metal plate. What happens to the length in the to the length of the plate and the diameter of the hole when the plate is cooled? When the plate is cooled. What happens to the length of the plate? You have a plate, okay, for example, and you have a hole inside the plate. What happens to the length of the plate and the diameter of the hole when the plate is cooled? Any ideas? Hmm. A. Okay, which is correct. Yes, the length of the plate decreases and the diameter decreases. Yes. Okay. B, no, B is wrong. It cannot be B. Why? Because the diameter will not increase. Actually, it will shrink. Okay. Cooling, it will cause the plate to shrink. It will cause the plate to kind of contract. When it contracts, what happens? The diameter decreases, the length, the width, everything decreases. Hmm. In glass thermometer, this is cancelled. Okay. Thermal capacity, this is cancelled. Okay. 19. Which row is correct? Some examples of convection and explanation of why the convection occurs. Example, air conditioning unit. The unit is placed at a high position to circulate the cooled air rising from the floor level and so keeping the room cooled. Convection oven. I guess this is wrong. I think this is wrong. Convection oven, the air in the oven becomes more dense when heated. More dense when heated. No. Hot air balloon, air inside the balloon becomes less dense, which causes the balloon to rise. Okay. Okay. This seems to be okay. Land and sea breezes, a breeze from the forms due to warm air above the land moving down. Warm air moving down? No, this is wrong. So the only correct answer is C. Again, I solved it by elimination. You can eliminate the wrong answers. Okay? Hmm. In which situation is radiation the main method by which energy is transferred? The main energy reaching the earth from the sun. Yes, this is the main energy transfer. This is the only way by which energy from the sun can reach the Earth because there's a vacuum between Earth and the sun. Okay. Hmm. Any questions? Hmm. Yeah. Question 21. Diffracting. Yes, thank you. D. Yes. This is the diffraction. Yes. Which statement about an image formed by a plane mirror? Plane mirror. An image. Uh, C. Someone said C. No, it's not C. It's definitely not C. It cannot be larger. Okay. It is. It has to be the same size. It has to be the same size. Yes, thank you. I know some people might say it's inverted. It's not actually inverted. It's laterally inverted. Okay. Laterally, okay, inverted. And he has to say it explicitly. He cannot just say inverted. If he says inverted, for example, as in this question, it is inverted. No, when he says inverted, that means vertically inverted. When he just says inverted, he means vertically inverted. But the mirror has a laterally inverted image, and he has to explicitly say laterally inverted. Other than that, it would be vertically inverted, such as the images formed by the converging lens. I was just about to say. An object is placed in front of a thin converging lens. The diagram shows the paths of two rays. An image of the object is formed on the screen. An image is formed on the screen. We know for a fact that any image that would be formed on a screen, okay, any image that would be formed on a screen would be inverted. Any image that would be formed on a screen would be inverted. Type. Would this image be smaller or larger? That's the question. Would the image be smaller or larger? The thing is, okay, the only point is that this object is quite close. This object is quite close to the lens. So it's a bit close to the lens. If the object was very far away from the lens, if the object was very far away from the lens, it would produce a small image. It would produce what? A small image. Whenever the object is close to the lens, the image becomes larger. The image becomes enlarged. Whenever the object is closer to the lens, what happens to the image? The image becomes larger. Okay. Actually, there's another way to solve this question. If you want, you can use your ruler and draw the image. If you want to, okay, you can use your ruler and draw the image. Okay, when you draw the image and when these lines intersect, you'd find the image on the opposite side is a bit larger than the object, and then you'd know for a fact that it is enlarged. Table shows information about different colors of light. Using the data, what is the frequency of orange light? Hmm. Okay. Roy Gibev. Yes. Roy. Orange is somewhat between red and yellow. It should be somewhere here. So it's about 5 times 10 to the power of 14. Yes. Sound is a transfer of energy from an oscillating source. Which statement describes how sound energy is transferred? Sound is longitudinal, not transverse. Oscillation. Is it parallel or is it perpendicular? Hmm. We know that it has to be parallel. Yes, longitudinal is parallel. The four diagrams represent the waves. The scales are the same. Which sound has the highest frequency? Which sound has the highest frequency? Frequency, okay, the number of waves per second. The number of waves per second, okay, it would be D. You can count them if you want to, but D is the correct answer. Yes. Hmm. Two metal rods each have a painted end. painted ends are placed next to end pole, the north pole. The rods are made from iron, aluminum, and magnetized steel. Iron, aluminum, or magnetized steel. What are rod 1 and 2 made of? Rod 1, North Pole attracts and South Pole attracts. North Pole, this is okay, moving on to rod 2. North Pole, nothing happens. South Pole, nothing happens. If you can attract a rod from both ends, then it's a magnetic material. And not just a magnetic material, it's an unmagnetized magnetic material, such as iron. If a rod does nothing from both ends of the magnet, what happens? Then it's a non-magnetic material, such as aluminum. Yes, it is D. Okay, it is D. Yes. Hmm. Any questions? Hmm. Oh, this is a really nice one. We have some nails, P, Q, and R. Um, yes. And in diagram 1, the switches are closed. Okay. Why can't it be A? Why can't it be A? In A, okay, in A, it would, okay, if you have a magnetized steel, it would attract from one end and repel from the other end. It should attract from one end and then repel from the other end. It cannot be, okay, A in this question. In 28, okay, we have we have three different cores, P, Q, and R. In diagram 1, okay, the switches are closed. I don't know why are the switches opened in this question, but okay, the switches are closed. When they are closed, P, okay, the nails are on the ground. Q, the nails are attracted, and R, the nails are attracted. When he opens, okay, when he opens the switches, what happens? P, again, still not attracted. Q, the pins fell, and R, the pins remained attached to the core. Which road correctly identifies the materials from which the nails are made? From which the nails are made. A, sorry, P has to be, yes, P has to be copper. Why does it have to be copper? Because it didn't affect, okay, there's no effect. It didn't attract when it was opened or when it was closed. Q, soft iron. Yes, it attracted when the switch was closed, and then it didn't repel, they just fell off. And then R, it is steel, and it became magnetized steel. It became a permanent magnet. Okay, good. A student rubs a plastic rod with a cloth, the rod becomes positively charged. Again, positively charged means that it gained protons. It cannot gain protons, huh? It has to. It, it lost, yes, it lost electrons. Again, whenever it is positively charged, what does it do? It loses electrons. It's all a matter of electrons. A student connects a circuit with a resistor X. The reading on the ammeter is 2.0 amperes. The reading on the voltmeter is 6 volts. She needs to produce a circuit with a total resistance of 10 ohms. She needs to produce a circuit with a total resistance of 10 ohms. Which resistor should she add in series to the circuit? Again, can I just calculate the resistance of X? Can you calculate the resistance of X initially? Yes, R equals V over I. V voltage 6 over I is 2, so the total resistance of this resistor is 3 ohms. Most of you would have just chosen B. But the problem is that she needs to produce a circuit with a total resistance of 10. So you need to add another resistor in series, for example. You need to add another resistors in series, which would have, yes, which would have a resistance of 7 ohms, which would have a resistance of 7 ohms, and the total resistance would be 10 ohms. To be honest, this is the problem with paper one. This is the problem with the multiple choice questions. They might seem very easy. And they are actually quite easy, but you just need to read the questions very carefully. Just need to see. Most of you would have just chosen B, which would have been wrong. Okay. Why? Because yes, resistor X is 3 ohms, but she needs the total resistance of the circuit to be 10 ohms. So she needs to add a resistor of 7 ohms in series to X. Okay. Hmm. Three diagrams show circuit S1, S2, and S3. With only switch S1 closed, the reading on the ammeter is 0.04 amperes. With only switch S1 closed. Okay, if we closed switch S1, the reading is 0.04 amperes. Which row states the incorrect ammeter? The incorrect ammeter reading. Which row states the incorrect ammeter reading? Okay, someone saying B, someone saying C. Okay, let's check them out. For example, B, if switch S1 is open, S2 is closed, okay, and this is open, the total ammeter reading would remain 0.04. Yes, this is correct. Why? Because you only have one closed switch. Each, for example, each of these um, lamps would have an ammeter of would have a reading, would have a current of 0.04 amperes. Each of them would have a reading of 0.04 amperes. So, for example, if you close only one of them, the total current should be 0.04. If you close two of them, the total current should be 0.08. If you close all three of them, the total reading would be 0.012. But someone's saying A, if you open all of them, then no current will pass through the circuit and the reading will be zero. Yes, this is correct. I need the wrong answer. We need the wrong answer. Let's check C. If you have S1 is closed, is open, and this is open, and you only have one of them, only one switch, which is S3, okay, the current would be 0.04 amperes, but he said that the current is 0.08 amperes. This is wrong. You need to have two closed switches, such as, okay, um, you need to have two closed switches for the current to be, for the reading to be 0.08 amperes, okay? For example, D is correct. Why is D correct? Again, S1 closed, S2 closed, S3 closed. Each of them, okay, 0.04 plus 0.04 plus 0.0. So the total current would be 0.12. Okay. Any problems with this question? Hmm. Okay. If you have two resistors, each of them with a reading of 10 ohms, if you combine them in series, which answer is correct? You should choose C. Okay. 31 should be C. If you have two resistors, 10 ohms, if you combine them in series, we know that you should add the resistance. It would be 20 ohms. If they are in parallel, we know, okay, you're not required to actually calculate it, but you know that if you have two resistors in parallel, what happens to the total resistance? The total resistance decreases. The total resistance decreases. It becomes less than either of the resistors. So it cannot be 10. Hmm, it has to be 5, which is less than 10. We have a television set. Which fuse provides the best protection for the circuit? Okay. Which fuse provides the best protection for this circuit? And series, yes, it does increase in series. You add them up in series. Huh. For this television, you should choose the 1 ampere fuse. Why should you choose the 1 ampere fuse? Because it's slightly larger than the input for the television. Television needs 0.6 amperes. So whenever you add a fuse, you should add the fuse which is slightly larger than the input required for this television. Okay? Okay, good. Hmm. You have a rod being inserted inside a solenoid. Okay, and the ammeter shows that there's a small current, that there's a current in the wire or in the solenoid. Which rod is being inserted for the solenoid to conduct some current? Okay, for their which rod should be inserted? A heated copper rod? Nope. And a magnetized steel rod? Yes, a magnet. You need to insert a magnet, north and south. You need to insert a magnet with two different poles. Definitely would have two different poles, but I'm just saying, yeah, that you have to have a magnet which is being inserted inside the solenoid so that an electromagnetic induction, okay, induction, you will induct some current. Current will be induced um, in the solenoid. You have a transformer. What is the output voltage? You have all the input. Okay, this is the VP. Hmm, VP. And this is NP. This is NS. You need VS. What's VS? We have one equation. We can use only one equation. VP over VS equals VP over VS equals NP over NS. We can cross multiply. VP is 22,000 over, I don't know, VS. NP is 550 over 115. Cross multiply, it would be, yes, C. It would be C, yes. Diagram shows a DC motor, which two changes together, okay, will always make the coil spin more slowly. I do not want the coil to rotate in the opposite direction, okay? I want it to rotate more slowly. Decrease the current in the coil and use a magnet of less strength. I think this sounds right. I think. Decrease the current in the coil and increase the number of turns. No, don't increase the number of turns. Increase the current. Nope. Increase the current. Nope. So it is only A. The charge on a proton is E. What is the charge on an electron and a neutron? Proton. If a proton is E, then I guess the electron should be negative E and the neutron is 0. Hmm. Which statement is correct? Radium, thorium, uranium, and plutonium. Uranium contains one more neutron than plutonium. Uranium contains one more neutron than plutonium. Why? Hmm. Huh. Actually, it is correct. I just need to know your. How did we do it? Okay. Yes, it is D. I know. It is D. Yes, uranium contains one more neutron than plutonium. How did we do it? All we did was 238 minus 92, and this one 239 minus 94. Okay. This would give a difference of 1. Yes. This would definitely give a difference of 1. Yes. Thank you. Good. Okay. Hmm. A radioactive atom decays by emission of a beta particle. Which row is correct? Beta particle. What decays? The nucleus of the atom or the outer layers of the atom? Hmm. When an yes, yes, thank you. Okay. When an atom gives off a beta particle, what decays? The nucleus of the atom. The nucleus of an atom changes. Okay. It becomes a different element. Becomes a lighter version of, no, this is wrong. It becomes what? It becomes a different element. Whenever you produce a beta particle, the element itself changes. Okay. Um, yeah. Question 40, the graph shows the activity of radioactive source. What is the half-life? Again, 120 divided by 2, 60. Draw a horizontal line and then a vertical line. So the total half-life would be 2 minutes. Okay, good.